Hello friends, Electronics here, and today we're gonna be playing Butcher at the Dragonshire, so let's have a quick look at our team compositions. It's gonna be Butcher, Alarak, Tychus, Nova, and Hammer versus Illidan, Zagara, Gazlo, Chromie, and Lunara. Okay, so Butcher actually received a small, well not small, it was kind of a medium-sized rework during this Alarak patch, because his kit didn't really change. The biggest change was his trait. The functionality of it, because previously you would constantly need to restack your meat stacks every time you die, and it would only increase your auto attack damage only so much, right? It was percentage based, and it was impactful at like when you completely stack it, but there weren't really a small increments to it. Whereas right now you can stack it 125 times. And every stack actually translates into 1 attack damage. So it's kind of interesting, and then when you stack it fully, you actually stop losing meat when you die. So that's also pretty damn nice, because you, like, right now you aren't really afraid of dying as Butcher as before, because every time Butcher dies, he might as well have a 2-3 minute death timer, because he will be mostly useless until he stacks all of his stacks back up if he didn't go for Abattoir talent at level 1. But right now, after you completely stack your meat, you just receive it's now permanent, and you, on top of that, you receive extra attack speed and 100 extra damage, which is obviously pretty damn nice. And Abattoir actually allows you to drop, instead of 10 meat every time you die, you only drop 5. And kind of the best thing about it is, after you reach max stacks of meat, heroes still continue to drop some. So you will be able to stack your damage even after you fully stacked it, which is... Oh no! Oh my god, that was awful. The fact that Nova got caught in the traps there, we would have easily killed Chromie there. So yeah. But also you get, I believe, 5 meat from heroes and 1 meat from every minion. So also like the very important part is Murky, and heroes like that, Vikings, Murky, they all drop 5 meat. So it's really nice to lane versus them as Butcher. You can stack up before you even hit level 10, which is ridiculously strong. Like, the amount of damage you get from that is kind of ridiculous. Okay. So also there were other small tweaks, like for example when you charge, now you get an auto attack a little bit faster than you did previously. So what you don't want to be doing is usually, like, look at that, what I did there is I charged and then I moved. That's not something you want to be doing right now. Right now you want to get 1 auto attack first, and then you start moving around them to start a step and get a positional advantage. So that was definitely my reflexes from the past when I was playing Butcher, you know. Definitely, it's a change that needs adapting to. It's not a significant one. So we're gonna go for, like, for this game, I'm just gonna go for full attack damage build. We're gonna get as... Oh no, that was a little bit too far. That was a little bit too far. Oh, I kind of overextended there, and Tychus is gonna die. Tychus is gonna pay for my sins. That was awful. Okay, I will try to grab this, but there is Chromie. She will just be constantly harassing me. Let's change. Okay, there we go. It was kind of predictable what she did there. You never really want to be predictable as Chromie. That's kind of the biggest weakness you can show, is to easily... like, to allow your enemy team to easily track where you are aiming all of your skill shots, because that's her strength. Like, she can be really unpredictable, especially with the Dragon's Breast. Can we... Oh, that was a mistake. Let's charge Zagara there and then cancel. Oh, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful escape. For a second there I was worried that Butcher would run this way, and that would have easily... Run away, Hammer, don't do this. Run away, please. Okay. Banelings could have killed her there. I'm not sure what the hitbox is, but it was a possibility. I will stay top here and just get some meat. Soak some XP. So yeah, the build, we're just gonna go for the full attack damage, attack speed, just buff up our trait as much as possible, just to see whether it works or not. I tried it a couple of times, and it's like, I am not sure if it's consistent, but we'll see, we'll see. Probably, like, the hardest time I had while playing Butcher right now is when you don't get a team with some sort of tanks or crowd control. Because that way it's really easy to avoid all of the Butcher's functionality. Because he changed, like he is now way better than he was before. He has more damage, I think, he has better healing, better kit in general, but his problems still persist, is that all you really need to do to avoid dying to Butcher is just run in a straight line, and then your supports help you, your tanks help you, and you're gonna be totally safe. Because like after Butcher casts his Ruthless Onslaught, oh no, I need to disengage this. I can't be standing there, I'm sorry. So clear as a creep though. So let Noah do that. So after you cast Ruthless Onslaught, there is almost no catch-up mechanics you have. You can kind of go for better hamstring slows and things like that, but it's still kind of a little bit underwhelming. So with that in mind, casting Ruthless Onslaught for engage is probably a bad idea. You really want to kind of walk into the range on your mount, start hitting them, and then when they get low or if they're trying to escape, you catch up to them with your Ruthless Onslaught there. Yeah, I was sure there were a couple of them, so I made sure not to fully commit to that. I made sure I would disengage. I will probably go for better healing, I think. I think it's decent. Should be decent. Okay, no! So the other thing I really hate about Butcher is the fact that you cannot cancel your Ruthless Onslaught immediately. Like, you really should be able to cast it not after 1 second of it being like running, but after like a split second. It's so easy. Because when you are trying to go for this short range charges to secure a kill or to get a stun on somebody who's channeling, and then you rethink it, and it, like, because something changed, like somebody showed up, or someone on your team is full super low health now and he wasn't a second ago. And the fact that you can't cancel your charge immediately, I think it really hurts Butcher. What's Lunara? Is Lunara actually feeding here? This is so... oh my god, this is just sad. Come on, Lunara, you can do better than that. I will probably stop killing her. I probably should. Let's actually go top and soak some XP instead. So we are already at 86 stacks of meat. It's kind of a decent number. Like as I said before, when you are playing against Murky or Vikings, you can stack before you hit level 10. Right now it's a little bit harder. Also, by the way, Rexar, when you kill Rexar, Misha drops stacks of meat. So that's something I had no idea about it, but she actually drops 5 stacks of meat, so it's extremely valuable to kill Rexar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might think that first you want to kill Misha, get her stacks, and then kill Rexar, but you actually can maximize, like, you can min-max Butcher's stacks just by killing Rexar. Misha still drops the stacks. I had no idea about that. Also, there was a weird bug with Karazim's Palm. So what happened is, I was using my Butcher's brand to heal myself up, right? I got to super low health, and then I died, and I didn't die, Karazim used his palm on me, right? So I went into stasis, right? But because my brand was active, I was able to heal myself up just a little bit, like I had 1 fraction of health there from my auto attack with the healing, but I went into stasis, and what happened is, after the stasis from the palm finished, it actually didn't heal me. I actually just remained at that sliver of health I had. It's a very weird bug, but it's something I guess to consider. Yeah, so level 13, let's actually go ahead. Grab Savage Charge, it's actually really damn good, because it allows you to use your charge to finish off people rather than engaging, which I think is a much better way to do it. Like you see somebody super low, you just charge into them, and that's 10% of their health and damage. Oh my god. I'm sorry. 10% of their health and damage, and 10% is actually a lot of health. Actually, that's an incredible amount of health. Even for super squishy characters like Tracer, you still can kill her, like it still hurts. And versus dragons, garden terrors, cho'Galls, it's even so much better. It's like a mini quantum spike, which is a little bit more consistent, and you don't really need to charge up your ultimate to do it. So that's cool. I will actually use this to heal up, and there we go. His turret actually lasted a little bit. I saw that his turret was a little bit more durable, it would survive a couple of my attacks and I would be able to heal up a little bit more consistently, but luckily we were able to kill Gazelle before he charged up his laser, and I think that if he did, he might have killed me there. So, okay, seems like Lunara is... Oh, nope! Okay, okay. Okay, level 16 is gonna be probably Blood Frenzy. Actually, in range is a pretty decent talent with that resistance it gives you. But it's like previously it reduced the crowd control on you, but the Relentless was nerfed, and so all of the talents that have that functionality also have been reworked. Instead of usually what it does now, instead of just reducing the duration of stuns on you, it makes you more resistant for the duration. Some heroes have a little bit have slightly more deviation in their functionality, but for Butcher it just gives him resistance. I actually should go for the shrine here. There's no real reason to kill the minions there because I'm already at full meat. So yeah, you can track the Abattoir stacks right here. For some reason it doesn't show up on your general meat bar there, but you can still track them. It's just down there in the buff section for your hero. So yeah, I think we're gonna go for Blood Frenzy. Every time you attack a hero, you become basically stronger, faster, and that movement speed actually really shows. Like you can really see the difference between moving at default speed and after you stack Blood Frenzy. Like, it's ridiculous. You are actually able to do things that you weren't able to do before. So I don't want to really suicide this dragon. There's really no reason to. Like, I could go for this tower and maybe get it before they kill me. But I do think that waiting out and being a little bit more patient with the dragon is a far better strategy there. But Alarak and Nola are doing their work. Oh, can you actually grab the blood here in the dragon? Oh, you actually can, so that's awesome. That is something I had no idea about, and now we know. Will Chromie use her temporal? Yeah, she has temporal. Oh, Lunara is actually a bot, okay. So that actually explains a lot of things here. Okay, there we go. You just saw how we killed Illidan with the Ruthless Onslaught there because of that 10% damage. So you can kind of consider that ability to be a counter to a very small counter to evasion or blinds, things like that. It's definitely helpful. Oh, he almost killed the guy there with the Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is a very weird ability because it can be so easily interrupted, but against their team is actually pretty good because they really don't have any interrupts for Alarak. They have no displacement, no stuns, no silences, except for the Maul, obviously, but that's it. So he can really get some good value from his Counter-Strikes, which is pretty awesome. Good job by him, by the way, choosing it into this game. Wasn't really... I probably should have helped Hammer there. But let's go ahead and grab the Siege Cam. By the way, now Butcher, literally after you stack 125 stacks of fresh meat, you can solo the bosses. Like any boss, you can just solo them, which makes him a very interesting choice for the maps where you would have gone for somebody like Sonya, like the doubloon, the Blackheart's Bay, maybe the Towers of Doom map for the boss. It's interesting. Did I actually catch him? Oh my god, that was just enough to catch him there. I'm actually really horrible with them to slaughter landings. Like sometimes I just predict the passing a little bit wrong, or I just cast it just slightly out of range. I don't know. I don't know what's about. Like there's something about this ultimate that just doesn't make sense in my mind. Let's kill the Wisp. Yeah, it's really sad that they have a bot there. So there's that, I guess. But we're gonna go for Nexus Blades just to enhance our auto attack capabilities. And let's actually have a look at our attack damage. It's 680 damage at level 20. If we had more stacks of Abattoir, whatever that thing is called, we would have done even more damage. So right now we are basically doing the damage an Arcane Orb would do, except it's our every auto attack, which is kind of ridiculous because usually what happens is that you have mages that do this huge burst of damage, and you have more sustained auto attack damage dealers, right? And what they do, like what they rely on, is that they land like 2 to 3 auto attacks to compensate for the fact that they don't have burst, right? But their damage is more consistent since they don't need to use mana or their abilities to do the damage. They just stand there and auto attack at their range or at melee range, whatever it may be. But as Butcher right now, after this change, like his every auto attack is like a huge spell. So it's definitely a very interesting. Like he's really strong in the end game because of that. Because of that stacking, you can infinitely stack your attack damage, and it really shows, because not only it increases your damage output, it also increases your survivability because you use it for healing. And it's really helpful on maps like Battlefield of Eternity, where you can just destroy the Immortals just on your own. You just let your 4 members of your team distract the enemies. Of course, after you have stacked your meat a little bit, you let your teammates distract the enemies, and you just get all of the damage you want, all of the damage your team needs on that Immortal, and just destroy him. So yeah, it's not really great. Lunara bot didn't really show us much of competition there, but all of the problems, like some of the problems for Butcher were fixed. Like his damage previously felt a little bit underwhelming. The brand functionality, he was really reliant on brand to heal him up, and there were talents that you just had to go for, like that increased movement speed. I feel like those talents really helped him, because if the brand target just runs away from you just a little bit, you are now dead. Right now you get that movement speed a little bit easier with some maybe other talents, and I believe that some of the brand talents were merged into that level 7 talent of increased healing and movement speed, so that definitely helps. But and yes, his biggest weakness of the the fact that you always needed to restack the meat has been completely eliminated. Or like right now, you can actually go for those risky dives and not worry that if you screw up, your team is now 3 minutes needs to somehow hold it for versus 5 or 4.5 versus 5, because like you can still help out, but you won't do as much damage as you could have, right? So I think that was a very good change for Butcher indeed. But his other weaknesses are still there. He's very predictable, because after he charges, you literally, like, you know where to aim your skill shots. As the enemy team knows where to aim all of their skill shots to instantly kill Butcher after he finishes his Ruthless Onslaught charge. Also, you're still very reliant on your healing, although the healing right now is actually pretty insane. Like you've seen the damage numbers we had, like 800, 700, 600 damage per hit, and if you literally convert it into healing like 1-to-1 with this level 7 talent. So it makes although he is really reliable on this healing, the healing is actually really good. So you can sustain yourself if you have some tanks on your team who can help you out with the stuns. Like they can secure the target in place for you to do those auto attacks onto them, or maybe slow them down so that you can catch up to them easier. Or if enemy team doesn't have stuns or any sort of crowd control, so that you can actually do those auto attacks and not get interrupted. That way you can sustain yourself. You don't even need a healer right now, honestly. If you let Butcher to heal himself, he literally doesn't need a healer. Like if you don't interrupt him, if you don't walk away, Butcher can heal from 0 to full health in just a couple of auto attacks versus heroes, which is kind of ridiculous and potentially really scary. But once again, his weaknesses still apply. You can easily crowd control him, disengage. So yeah, I think that he changed. Right now he is a lot more satisfying to play. He's maybe a little bit easier to play, but he's still the same old Butcher we knew. Like he still had like, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird to explain because I don't feel like he is stronger right now. His numbers went up. His healing went up. His functionality is better. But all of his weaknesses are still there. So I don't know what to think about it. Obviously, when you have Uther, Tyrael on your team with those sanctifications, divine shields, you can really do some really insane damage as Butcher, but I really don't think that you can reliably play Butcher in solo queue or maybe in quick matches. I really don't think that he's a good hero for those types of games, because all the enemy team really needs to counter you is one stun. Like if you charge in and Brightwing uses her polymorph on you, you just die, like right there. You charged in and you're dead. So there's that. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. If there are some heroes or builds you want to see me playing next, make sure to let me know in the comments. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.